Hello everyone, it's Thumper the Rabid. It's November 8th, 2019. We're the day after wipe today. Nothing really significant to add from the bug fixes that came today. I think they were mostly for like crashing and all that kind of stuff. Nothing new to electricity. But I'm streaming on Twitch at the moment. So this is going to become long form. But when I post this to YouTube, I'll probably just chop out the boring parts here, but I'm going to attempt to build something for user request by Beau Ferguson on YouTube, whose request was for a way to have an HBHF sensor open a set of doors, basically whenever you are in your base. And that's actually a really good and common use of different triggers. You can use lasers or pressure pads, but the HBHF makes this very easy and hands-off. So popular reason for doing this is loot room. Set it to friendlies and just open your loot room automatically when you come back into your base. So I'm going to probably shut up a little bit here. Although if anybody jumps into the stream and wants to ask questions, I'll keep talking. Otherwise, I'm probably going to shut up while I build a little loot shack, because then it'll make it easier for me to fast forward this in post, and it's boring to watch making just boring, stupid buildings. So yeah. Hello. Hey, Pappy. I'm actually doing a user request video right now. Somebody was asking how to make a system for having an HBHF open doors in your base for you automatically when you came in and close them when you leave. I'm actually doing my own little variation of this. I'm gonna make one side loot and the other side a trap, because that's a little more fun. All right. So I'll probably slow this down for a moment here. So where I'm at right now is I have constructed sort of your boring, generic, traditional loot room, honeycomb kind of thing, assuming you've got some better base outside of this. And then I got a entrance, exit, little anti-rooms on either side, which are always handy to have in a base, because you never know when you might need to go out the back. Oh, damn it. And so what I did, because I'm trying to have a little bit of fun here, is oops. Trying to set this up where one half of the room is loot room and the other half of the room is turrets, so that we can actually have a little more fun with anybody who were to come in here. I mean, you don't have to do this, obviously, if you need if you need 6 cells for your loot room because you got lots of loot, then just make this all loot. But just for a little fun variation here, what I've decided to do is set this up so that one side will be turrets and the other side is going to be loot. And then what we'll do is we'll set up your HBHFs so that if a friendly comes in, it opens up the loot doors. And if a not friendly comes in, it'll open up the turret doors. Because why not give them a moment of hope to think that they have your loot, only to be disappointed as they get shot in the face. Alright, so I've paired door controllers to all these. And what we're going to do here is we're going to have 3 HBHF sensors. One, I'm going to put right here in the middle of this loot room. I'm going to put it on the ceiling so it can see everything in case you want to drop some lanterns or boxes or whatever on the floor. It can see me all the way from here. That's good. I'm going to drop another one in the ante room here. And I didn't put a roof on this. That'd be good. Ta-da! All right. Perfect. All right, so and what we'll do is I need actually different HBHFs for the enemy trigger here. I guess I can place those now. Why not? I'm just going to stick it right next to the other ones because, oh, well, if it'll let me put it next to the other one. I guess I got to get it far enough away here. Still see me at the door. That's close enough. I'm just going to use one for the enemy. If the enemy makes it all the way in here and opens your loot, then they'll get blasted. So, alrighty. Sorry, that's my OCD there. Okay, so got an ante room, got some loot rooms, some trap rooms, got entry ante rooms here. Now, all you really need here, if you want to use all these for loot, you need a little bit more power. You'd need 6 units of power at least, because these door controllers all need 1 unit. In our case over here, we're going to do 3 doors. They're still changing how these branches work, so I'm going to go with how branches used to work because it's probably how they're going to continue to work for a little while. And so I'm going to lay down some branches. I'm just going to put 1 here and 1 here, and we're going to have power come into here, and then we're going to take 2 units off, which is the minimum. Power this door, that'll cause it to open. And take the rest of the power, we're going to stick it into this branch. We're going to take 2 units off here, and then we'll take the rest of the power for the 3rd door. Alright. So when we power this, all these 3 doors will open. When we take the power away, the doors will close. They're open right now because I opened them manually. Now, here's the trick. Because of the way the branches work, at least traditionally, it needs the minimum 2 unit configuration plus the one it eats itself. So that's 3 units. That's another 3 units. And we still need 1 left over to hit this guy here. So technically we should put 7 units of power into this. Now, if you know how HBHFs work, they put out the amount of power equal to the number of people they see. So just taking the power out of the HBHF isn't going to be enough to open all these doors. So what we do is we take ourselves an AND switch. Where the hell's the AND switch? There it is. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to drop this back here for now. And the AND switch is going to be our power source, because what we can do is we can run in 7 units of power into one side of this. Actually 8, because it's going to use 1. We'll run 8 units of power into one side, and then we'll take all 3 of the HBHFs and we'll chain them together with OR switches. and we'll make sure that they have enough power so that if any one of those 3 HBHF triggers, they will have enough power to send 1 unit to the other side of the AND switch. And once we put 1 or more units of power onto the other side of the AND switch, it'll turn on and send the 8 units we have coming in this side to open the doors. So let's do that now. Okay, so I think I'm going to shut up again for a minute because I'm going to want to fast forward again or whatever. I just want to build some power source first, so give me a few minutes here and we'll add some power, and I'll just fast forward through that. I'm just going to do it with solar, so stand by here. Alright, so presuming I just fast forwarded through all that. One note, because I'm lazy, I just threw all the solar and a wind turbine up there just because I like wind and solar looks cool, but I put all the root combiners on the roof, which you should never do because then your enemies will just go on the hillside and shoot out all your root combiners and kill your power. So put all the root combiners inside on the ceiling or on the wall or something like that and wire them down. It just takes longer to do that, so I didn't do that. Tough. All right. So now what we need to do, I guess I should throw on the ore switches here. So why do I need ore switches? Well, again, we want to bring back power from this HBHF or this HBHF or this HBHF. So the way we're going to do that, and these can really be exposed because it doesn't really matter if like an enemy shot them out because it just means the doors aren't going to open. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring power into the room through this branch, and then we're going to take a couple units of power, put it into the HBHF, and then run it down. Oh, actually I need an AND switch here. I'm gonna need this OR switch, but later. And then I'm gonna put the rest of the power into here. So again, the reason I'm doing this is because presuming you're just by yourself when you walk in here, this HBHF is only going to put out 1 unit of power. So we're going to put in 2, the minimum configuration for the branch. We're going to put in 2. It'll only put out 1. 1 is not enough to go through a series of OR switches because each of the OR switches is going to consume a unit of power. So we need to send more power from here. So we need to make sure we're sending enough power here that when the HBHF's 1 unit hits this side, the other side of the AND switch puts through, well, it depends on how we wire these up. If we say this is the first sensor, which I'll go ahead and just call that the first sensor, and I'll just build this here, I suppose. What we're going to do is wire this up so that this one's coming into here, and then this one's going to come into here, and then this is going to go into here, and the third HBHF is going to go into here, which makes a little OR logic chain, which means this output will be on if this first HBHF is on, the second HBHF is on, or the third HBHF is on. That way, any one of these 3 will activate this circuit, and that's what we're going to send on over to the other side of this AND switch for activating the doors. Alrighty, so let's take this guy, and we'll bring him over here as door trigger number 1. And he'll go into here so that either of these or the third one will trigger. And so then I need to do the same thing in here for this HBHF. I'm going to build it on this wall. So another AND. And there's the AND switch. I take our 2 units over here to the HBHF, in, take its output out, bring it back, and connect it to the AND switch. And then this will be trigger circuit number 2. And then finally, do this one more time over here for this sensor. Take our 2 units, put it in, take it out, and then we're going to bring this guy back as door trigger circuit number 3. We're going to take the whole thing, bring it over here, put it into this AND switch, and then if any of those 3 door triggers hit, it'll power up this side. Then we need the actual power that we're going to use, so I guess I better start building some power output stuff here. So first thing I'll do is, we know we're going to need, plus the 8 switch, we're going to need 8 units of power coming out of this. So I'm going to take this 8 units out into this side. I'm gonna hook it up to the battery. Don't have to build a UPS circuit anymore because now we can charge batteries. Hurrah! Okay, and I've got what, 188 coming in here. That's plenty. And because I'm only gonna consume not 100. This won't take 100 to do all this, believe me. All right, so then we're gonna take the rest of this power on. And we're gonna split it out a few times to use for these various triggers. So now we need to know how much we need for each of these circuits. Well, you need 2 for that. You need 1 for the branch, that's 3. 1 going out for that this is gonna consume, that's 4. It goes into here, that's 5. It goes into here, that's 6, and it needs 1 left over to trigger, so that's 7. So we need 7 units at least going into this guy and to this guy, and we'll need 6 for the one on the other side of the room. So I'm just gonna branch a bunch of power off here. I know this isn't pretty, so forgive me. So I'm taking all my leftover power from the battery, and I'm gonna bring it over here. And the excess is going to go to the next one. And that excess is going to go to the next one. And then this is going to be, did I say 7? I think I needed 7 here. And then I needed, here we go. And I need 7 for this circuit, which opens the doors back up. That's a good sign. And then we need 6 to power this one in here. There we go, that's a good sign. So I'll step out of sight, but it'll stay open because I'm triggering this one. Come in here. This should be triggering it. Oh, it is. Okay, it was just a little bit of a delay there. Oh yeah, garage doors. I stayed inside of it, so that's good. So now, as soon as you enter your base, Beau, as soon as you come into this door, let me go out. You can hear that they close. So as soon as you come into your base, we hit the HBHF trigger here, it opens. Because this HBHF can see me, they're gonna stay open. And then if I go to leave, it's gonna stay open because this can still see me, but as soon as I leave the door, there they go. You can hear them closing. And now I come back in, and boom, they open up again. So there it is. Now that we can charge batteries and we don't need UPS circuits and everything, it makes this way easier, and that's really all it takes. Do make sure that this has exclude others. because you don't want enemies opening your doors. So I'm going to say exclude others. And I'm going to go to this one and say exclude others. There we go. Now it's only set for unauthorized people. So if your enemies walk in here, it's not going to open these doors. If that's all you wanted to know, then we're done. But I'm going to keep going because why not? I'm just going to wire up one additional HBHF sensor here. And for that, I'm going to need another branch because I'm going to do something similar on this side of the room. And see, that was close because I walked behind the post. The HBHF couldn't see me. Alright, so then what I'm going to do, I got some leftover power. Got plenty of leftover power, actually. So I'm going to take leftover power. We're going to get ourselves a AND switch going here. And when we trigger this AND switch, it is going to go... stuck. Here. And send 2 units to this door controller to open it. And then the leftover is going to go over to... damn it. It's not smart. Here. I'm going to take 2 units out for this door controller. And I'm going to take the leftover. This door controller, again, I need probably 8 units again. So I'm going to take 8 units out of this branch. Put it into one side. And then... I'm gonna take... Don't really need another branch here, but I'll do it just to demonstrate. And it'll help, I think, limit the draw on the battery because they are a little funky now. Take these 2 units, go over to this other HBHF sensor. This is gonna be the one that detects enemies. I'll run this back down. And we need to power all this, so we're going to take the excess power from the circuit we had going here. There we go. And now I'm going to set this one to... it actually already includes others. So when you walk in this room, it's going to open all these doors, the turrets and the loot. And when you leave, actually your loot doors are going to stay open because of this HBHF sensor. But now if I stay in here, you can hear that a set of doors closed. That was the turret doors. But when I walk in, now the turret door is open. This gives you access to put ammo into these, which I should do that. Let's just put some ammo in. Why not? I mean, we're here and everything. That's not very much ammo. But hey. Makes the point, right? Alright. And yes, I did need a couple more branches, didn't I? One more here. Let's put one more here. And we still have 58 units of power left over, which is plenty, because we need 10 for this turret. Take the extra, run it over here. Need 10 for this turret. Still got 44 units left over, which really is more than we need. But maybe since we have so much extra power here, we could hook one of these up to like a pager. Have it page us when the ammo's low. Have it page us when a target is acquired. Then you know someone actually came in here and set off your trap. And there you go. That's actually it, I think. Right? Yep, that's it. So now, if you leave, all your loot doors and turret doors shut. But if you walk in here, they're going to look in this room and be like, oh, look, loot. Oh, shit, turrets. And it just kind of works itself out that way. And they can still come in here and try to loot if they want to, but these doors will be closed because as long as you have your 3 HBHFs that you're using for the doors set to exclude others, so don't do include others, exclude others, then that means enemy players will not open the loot doors, they'll only open the turret doors. And boy, will that be disappointing. Hopefully this tricks them into actually thinking it's okay when the doors open, because they'll hear you come in and they'll hear you open garage doors and they'll be like, oh shit, and then they'll walk in here and they'll get inside and they'll hear garage doors start to open and they'll think they're going to get your loot, but really they're just going to get a face full of lead. Isn't that fantastic? Well, there you go, Beau. I hope that answers your question on how to do this. Hopefully it's not too complicated. If you got any other questions, anyone else want build ideas or examples of how to do stuff, please leave it in the comments or hit me up on the Discord. That's it. Good luck, and don't suck.